Triple D reviews and how-tos, white hot pizza jerky. There's everything I use to make it.
All right, so we got Triple D, dehydration. Then we got the Watts spicy Italian pizza seasoning and hot pizza seasoning. Spicy Italian pizza seasoning and hot pizza seasoning. They have oregano in them, so I always dump them into a bowl. And then over here is that 10 pounds that's been marinating overnight. I got the dehydrator all ready for action, and we're ready to dehydrate. So we're gonna kick it off right now. Peace. Triple D's reviews and how-tos. Peace. All right, we're back. Triple D reviews and how-tos. So here's what I've got. I've got set up a table. I've cleaned all the racks. Once I cleaned the racks, I put them in there to dry them. I turned them on 165 and I hit them for an hour, evaporated everything off of there, made sure there was no little chunks. That's the biggest thing, is those little chunks of meat like to get stuck on the rack sometimes. But I did all that. So what I found, like I was saying about the hot pizza seasoning, is because of the oregano flake and the parsley flake in there, you want that to come out with it too. So when I open it up, I just pop the lid and dump it into a bowl, because I'm going to be using a lot with the jerky anyway. So, shaking it's a waste of time. And plus then I'm going to have meat hands. And then I've got that hot Italian seasoning. I wish you guys could smell that. What was that, Emerald, who said he wished he had smell-o-vision? All right, so we got that there. I'll stir that up a little bit. Then it's time to open the jerky and begin packaging it and dehydrating it and processing it. So what I've done is I've really hermetically sealed the aluminum foil around the top of that bad boy and had it in the fridge overnight. I pulled it out about half an hour ago, let it warm up a little bit. It really doesn't matter, it's going in the dehydrator. But I'm gonna lay these racks down, and I'm gonna do it. I come from a background where you were in the medical industry, so I want to do this unadulterated product. I'm making the best product I can in the environment I can with the best means I can to prevent any sort of cross-contamination. There's been no other work done today anywhere except cleaning of the area. So, Triple D's reviews and how-tos. Peace. I definitely don't want to be the reason somebody gets an upset stomach. All right, it's time to start loading the dehydrator. I pull out the bottom rack first. I always load from the bottom up, because what I do at the bottom rack is I'm going to hit it with the extra seasoning. So the spiciest jerky is at the bottom, so that it doesn't drip on the stuff that I want to be more milder for, other people. The smell is amazing. Again, I wish I had smell-o-vision. But here they are. Here's the nice chunks. We're just going to lay them out. It's nice long chunks here. We got some smaller bits. Those will get set on there too. Oh yeah. This does not need any more time marinating. 24 hours was plenty. This stuff is already cut so thin, it's tearing apart. I cut it, rolled it up like pasta, and cut it lengthwise. You can see there's quite a bit of fat on this, and that's what's going to give it the flavor, and the fat drips off. That's a great thing about the dehydration. So you will lose a lot of that fat out of the rendering. But the fattier the piece of meat, the longer it takes to dehydrate, because fat takes longer to exit than water. So if I was using like a super lean meat, I would do it much less time. So I got that first rack full. Meat hands, who cares? And then we're just sprinkling on the extra watts. Getting a good coating on there. I may do it one more time at the end as well, because what I've found is after the dehydration process, you lose more heat than you expect. So all right, that first rack's done. in it goes. Triple D's reviews and how-tos. Special thanks to Watt Sauce for hooking me up. All right, here's a third rack of spicy. I want to point out that I never work over the product. I bring it from here to here, and then I put it in. So I lift up the tray, the product's up here. Boom. That is row number 3 of spicy. Now I'm going to do regular, going forward. Pull out row 4. And this is just going to be straight up jerky and drop. Peace. All right, so we're on the 9.5 racks of jerky. This last rack, I kind of got to take all the little clumps. These are small bite-sized pieces that were falling through the other racks. So these are going to be a little spicier, but I'm going to kind of put them all together, and then I'm just going to kind of clump them on and hope that I can get most of them to stay on here, because they will go through the dehydration process, and these little bites are nice little treats. All right, good enough. So in it goes, 9.5 high. Now, the dehydrator is filled with product. The waste. Turn it up to 165, or 160, excuse me. I'm going to go 12, I'm going to do 10 hours. 160 Fahrenheit for 10 hours. After 10 hours, I'm going to taste it. It'll be cooked. See if it's dehydrated enough for me. I don't want it to be shoe leather, but I don't want it to be mushy either. So I'm going to, you got to play the humidity of the house. That makes a difference in timing. So 10 hours is a good starting spot. You could go 12 if you wanted to be extra safe. 10 is plenty. At 160, that's going to cook it through. And hopefully it'll render the fat. That's the big part. That fat's got to render and leave flavor, but drip off too, so that it's not, doesn't have those, I don't like that gritty fat globules. I don't like that in my jerky. I know some people do, but I don't want like a chunk of fat in there. I want it to be rendered down to the point where it's just flavor. Please, Triple D's reviewing how-tos. And this is inner skirt steak, by the way. I think I said flank steak accidentally last time. Peace.
Here's the end product, about 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds of jerky. Wattsauce.com.